What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this beautifully honest reaction.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
All right, guys, so we got to get into this. Damedash, he has his YouTube channel. He's got his own network, and he would be a fool to not utilize YouTube also because everybody else is doing it, so why not him? And shoot, he owes a bunch of child support, so he might as well get those checks but the best way he can get them. And it ain't a crime to do a YouTube channel, so people who are talking about, oh, he's always talking about Jay-Z, does he have anything else to talk about, or he keeps talking about old stuff? Well, shoot, if everybody else is doing YouTube, then why can't he do it? Shoot, Oprah just started a YouTube channel the other week, so why can't he, right? So he did a video, and the title of the video was, "Is Jay-Z Up Next?" Now, I know he probably did it as a little bit of clickbait because he has no way of knowing that, but he was really good friends with him at one point in time. They did business together, and they have not been cool for a whole lot of years. So why not talk about it if you're going to get a check off of it and you're not telling any lies? So he did the video. I'm going to share a little bit of what he had to say in this video that he did on his YouTube channel and on his network. And you can let me know what he had to say, what you think of what he had to say, at least.
To watch. It's not cool like the movies. You know, it's not like boom, bang, and it's like, it's really sad. There's a dark feeling, and you see life leave a person, or when a bullet goes into someone's head and it don't bleed, it just swells up, and then you got to go to a fucking wake and watch a family cry. That shit is not glorifiable. It's the reason why I tried to get as far away from it as I could. But it's the same thing, like watching what's going on with Puff, it doesn't feel good. I don't want to see someone that maybe we had like a bullshit disagreement where I don't want to see them die or be tortured. I'm not going to celebrate the pain of anybody, any human being, even if they deserve it.
What do you think about the way they're portraying Jay right now?
You know, to be honest, I really hope, like, the things that they're saying are like, they're terrible. Like, I'd be like, yo, it's hard for me to even think that any of those things can be true. I don't want them to be true. Like, you know, they saying they're going to pick him up next year. I don't want to see that man go to jail. As much as he's been, to me, you know, unfair toward, or not unfair, the way he be fucking with my money. I want to hope that that's the worst that he's been doing. I would never want to hear, like, Jay at a freak-off party. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? The shit they saying, and I just be wondering why he don't say nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's terrible. And I look at, you know, like when my teeth fell out, and I know y'all want to make it like they were dentures, but show me a picture of me with some dentures. In the last year, I've had these. Look at the live and see what teeth I had in my mouth before. They were not teeth, they were grills. But it's called cool. I saw what's her name? Bring it up on Math Hoffa. I was Kim. Word? That's how you want to do? All right. The teeth moment, I get you. But, you know, again, I'll be like, damn, who sent her? But I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, but it's only, that shit is jokes. That shit ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it means anything. But what I want to go viral is, you know, the business stuff. And I want people to be smart about it. You know what I'm saying? Period. So they, with the teeth stuff, they you know, there was jokes and all that, but the stuff that I'm hearing and I see daily in that algorithm, it's about his family. I mean, I don't even want to say all the stuff they saying, but it would be such another big blow for hip hop. Regardless of what, perception wise, Jay is also a pillar of hip hop. And if anything bad happens to him, then it's really gonna look crazy for hip hop. You know? So I would never want to think that he lost his soul to that extent. This is someone I grew up with. No matter what, I don't wish if he was doing the crazy shit they saying, then, there's going to always be some degree of recourse at some point. But I really hope that shit ain't true. I would hate to think that the people that were in my world really had that degree of a secret. That they were completely different people than, I was trying to empower. Like there was a time pause that he inspired me. I love his family. I love his mother. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to be beefing with people when I know their children or their parents to a certain level. You're still cool with the kids. That's why when, he was supposed to be Jay's supposed to be my son's godfather. I'm like, how does he do that to Boogie's, his godson's father? So there are some levels that I know are dark, but again, I'm just hoping that it's not that dark, because then I'm gonna have to process that. But I just wish, to be honest, that the people that are being accused of certain things, they should just step up and be like, yo, they bugging. Just dead that shit. This is a very transparent place and world in these days. It's very easy to say that's not true. I wasn't at that party. I didn't do what they said I did. And, I remember when I would ask Jay, yo, well, how come they keep saying we beefing? And how come you don't say nothing about it? He'd be like, oh, I don't want to bring no fuel to it. Nah, that brought all the fuel to it. So being silent is sometimes the loudest thing in the world. So I believe if the things aren't true, because I hear the stuff that Jaguar says, and she be on 10 toes down, not allegedly. And I've been sued for not saying allegedly. That's why I got this problem I have now with this judgment. I have been sued for not saying allegedly. So the things she's saying, and she'd be like, no allegedly, no Diddy pause, or they'd be like, no allegedly. I would think that they could shut that down. So I'm curious. Now, I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm saying, yo, well, how come when I say the littlest shit, I got sued again by that, again, I don't want to get sued, right? Because they take anything. But Josh Weber, the dude that's pretending he directed a movie I directed based on my personal account, sued me in LA again for $4 million for a interview I did with Earn Your Leisure where I didn't even say his name. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful. So I know, you can get sued for nothing. So I'm like, yo, how come nobody's suing these people? Why won't they just say nah? I'm not calling out no names, but we all know that the shit they saying is nuts. Pause. It's so that I can't even, it's nuts. And not just for Homeboy, for everybody. So I'm hoping the stuff I'm hearing isn't going to happen. I'm hoping that the stuff I'm hearing isn't true. I don't want anybody to be that dark.
And meanwhile, Beyonce, Jay-Z, and the crew, they've been over in Paris. She has been celebrating the launch of her Sir Davis liquor and taking these pictures looking like Marilyn Monroe. And some people feel like this is not a coincidence. It was probably, planned out before, but to have all of these images and sharing it on social media in light of not just the allegations or the insinuations, if you will, that Jay-Z may be implicated in all of the shenanigans that Sean Combs, his best friend, has been involved in, but that there are a whole lot of victims that are coming out, filing lawsuits, and nothing has been said. Nothing has been said by anyone in their camp. any spokesperson or anything for that matter. And of course, there's probably not going to be anyone that's going to be crazy enough to ask him or Beyonce the question of like, what do you think about Sean Combs in light of all of the allegations and the arrest and even just the things that happened before that with the raids and whatever. And because they want to have that access, those that have access to them have the access to them. But it does just kind of make you wonder, because Damedash, he says something in his not it wasn't really an interview, but it was on his channel, and I have the full video link in the description so that you can go check it out. But he wasn't implicating Jay-Z in any way. So like I said, I felt like the video title may have been a little bit of clickbait, and I get it because he's getting his views so he can get his money, so he can take care of his responsibilities, because he says he has a whole lot of them. And what I will say is I respect him in that, because he broke a whole lot down when it comes to the finances. And he was like, look, I'm broke. Yeah, I make millions, but I owe millions. So ultimately, that means that I'm broke. So yeah, maybe if I was living in the projects and I had $4 million, then that would be cool. But that's not the lifestyle that I live. So ultimately, what's coming in is going right back out. So that's just like most regular people who are working paycheck to paycheck, right? But I digress. I respect him in that he was honest about that. But he said that, look, and he wasn't just talking about Jay, but he said anybody that wasn't involved in that stuff, and because of how big this is, it would probably serve them to just come out and say, look, I haven't had anything to do with any of those things, because your silence somewhat makes you look complicit, or maybe even a little bit guilty. We don't know what we don't know at this point in time. All we can do is assume. But the attorney that did the press conference with regards to Sean Combs and all of the victims that they are currently representing, and there may be more added to that list, he indeed said that there are going to be other people that are going to be named. And a lot of them, they already know who they are. And it kind of makes you think, could it possibly be? I ain't saying that it's them, but people do wonder. And because if you look at the history of just Jay-Z, I'm not even talking about Beyonce, but if you look at the history of Jay-Z, there have been a lot of people that say they have been burned by him, that he was close with at one point in time. And that's just not a good track record. And to have Sean Combs say that Jay was his best friend and nobody else could call him Sean except Jay-Z because they have the same first name and they're best friends, I don't know. Again, I'm not implicating him. I'm not saying that he was in any of the freak offs or was doing any of the stuff. But because people are saying things and it causes people's minds to wander, and when you hear like that attorney that said that there's a tape being shot throughout Hollywood and that the other person that's on it is a high profile person, maybe even higher profile than Sean Combs, you just wonder. We don't know. It makes you wonder. And so, with that being said, Beyonce and Jay-Z are over in Paris looking pretty, showing all the shots and having a good time, like looking unbothered, not having a care in the world. And listen, like Damedash said, I hope that they're not involved in any of this stuff. But until that time, people are going to wonder and people are going to make speculations and assume. And with them just, posting this stuff up, especially in light of all of the victims that have been victimized by Diddy, I'm not saying that they should stop living their life because of the things that he has done, especially if they weren't involved in it. But sometimes it's just the optics are not good. But I'm just saying, she's a capitalist, so is he. So they're going to do what they do to make their money. And then you're going to have the people that are going to just buy whatever they shell out, no matter what, because it is her, because it's them. But she's basically saying, I'm unbothered. Don't come over here with that foolishness right now because I'm living my best life for this moment. But all I can say is what's done in the dark will come to the light. So we shall see. But you let me know what you think. And then meanwhile, Jaguarwright. She has been famously on the blue couch, sometimes maybe a beige couch, I think, on that YouTube channel, The Art of Dialogue. And now she's gotten a bigger platform to speak from. And Piersmorgan, who is extremely conservative, extremely hard right, even though he's not a U.S. citizen. But he had Jaguar on the show, along with DJ Vlad. And I'm going to just play a snippet of what Jaguarwright had to say on the Piersmorgan show. And I'll put the full video link in the description box if you want to check it out. But I'm going to talk about DJ Vlad later because there was something else that I was listening to of his where I was just like, something just doesn't sit right about how he is viewing these things that are going on.
Handler was McKinley Horton. I come to find out 25 years later that a scar that was on his face with a very elaborate story he gave me was put there by a woman who he assaulted. To live through these things and hear your elders in the business, people like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey. And being taught to be a just avoid him, honey. It's not good enough. Not when you live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you. So you want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere. Forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
cruelty-free artistry.
Right, there's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music, and that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan.
Child, she called out Claudia Jordan in this interview. I know Claudia Jordan is about to do a thesis on her Instagram page. Oh my God.
I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucien Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it for all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous. And everyone knows Diddy was selected for this job. He's the Judas.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his drug addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy. The simple fact that he's not saying more now only means that the people who have been protecting him all along, who put him in position to be such a horror to the black community, still find value in him. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it. It's a mess.
For those who were never at these freak-off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience. I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal. That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand. That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important. Salute to Zoe Kravitz. The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn hidden cameras. I have my own tapes. I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors, the drugging, putting girls in the suitcases.
Look at the viral bubble letter name necklace.
Dumping them in alleyways. It's horrifying.
Child, it's deep. Listen, I am quite sure that there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be talking about this. But the fact that she's up on Piersmorgan, because yeah, she's been on YouTube, right? We know that. She's been on YouTube for a few years now, calling out Jay, she called him honeycombs. That's been going on for a while. And a lot of people felt like, well, if it was true, then, if it wasn't true, then why haven't they sued her? One, she ain't got nothing to sue for, right? But some people feel like if these people are that dark, then why is she still even able to breathe and still able to tell these stories? I don't know. I really don't. But now that she's on a big platform like this, Piersmorgan is huge. So let me know what you think about what she had to say, not just about Diddy, right? But saying that Sean Carter, is just as, if not more dangerous than Sean Combs on a large platform like this. Because yeah, we know she's already been saying this, but even though those videos may have gotten tons of views, it really hits different once you get to a platform like the Piersmorgan Show, which yes, is on YouTube, but also on television as well. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.